I guess we'll move on to our collective favorite segment, which would be Celebrity D&D sheets.
For sure.
For those who don't know or just catching on or kind of forgot, this is where we take our celebrities of the world and we turn them into D&D characters with absolutely hilarious results. In the past, we've had Murder Choir Kanye West. We've had Gypsy God
Stevie Nicks.
Stevie Nicks, thank you. And actual literal Elon Musk.
Which was really fun. I can't wait to butcher you all with Kanye and his sirens. So excited.
Damn.
So today we're gonna do one that I think is such a wild card, and I'm glad this was thought up of Mickey Rourke.
I'm so pumped about this one.
It just came up with like a flashbulb. I'm like, there's so much we could do with this. And to be clear, we wanted to do. Well, actually, no. We'll build the accident into his story, and I think it's going to be brilliant. Let's talk about race and class, shall we?
Well, you explain the accident, because I know he got an accident. I don't know.
Okay, so
before we go into this,
yes. So back in the 90s, I think, or maybe even the 2000s, he got into an accident. He looked really cool, really not like Hollywood bound. Suffered a horrific accident and kind of messed up his face quite a bit, but it actually helped his career and kind of turned him into a completely different person in terms of like how he gets casted. And so now he kind of plays bad guy roles. Like he was great in The Wrestler. It didn't really slow down his career very much, which is great. But the look he gives is so unique that I think it deserves a place in our D&D universe. I think it was a motorcycle accident.
I completely agree. And I think because he's definitely such a character. Like every role he plays, especially in the last like 10 years, is always this like, while he's an older guy right now, he's still this like ancient badass. He's like, it's truly terrifying whenever he gets his growly voice in. So like, I mean, I would go race either like Goliath or even like half orc.
I was going to say Ogre Barbarian sounds like right up his fucking alley. Because he's a big fucking dude. And he's always played big fucking dudes.
Yeah, for sure. I would just like, I mean, Ogre, I mean, that fits like in the monstrous classes. And they're less intelligent. And I feel like he can still pull off like the being like an old, like almost like a warrior monk, like barbarian. But yeah, for sure, either like a barbarian or some kind of like intense fighter class.
Sure.
Maybe like a gladiator. That's a subclass of the fighter now, I think.
Yeah, I think of it as more like if he's like kind of like a Wolfgar character or a Logan Nine Fingers from the Joe Abercrombie universe. Like there's so like because he definitely would have like I wouldn't say necessarily intelligence, but cunning, which I think is it's its own intelligence. It's not like a book smart thing, but it's more like chess. Like I see him playing chess in his head when he's fighting somebody.
Sure.
Would you think he's like a mercenary?
Ooh, I like that actually. I really like him being like going with like the accident. Maybe he got kind of like shamed. Like he was like a great warrior for some country, and then was like horribly defeated, like absolutely wrecked, and it like tore him up. And he was shamed out of his country. Maybe they had like a very like honor-bound country that led like, oh, if you were a warrior defeated, you were excommunicated from the army. And so then he's like on a path, like he's almost like a Ronin out there, just doesn't really have like a country to call his own anymore. Maybe he was like tricked. Someone poisoned him is the only reason he lost the battle. And he's just out for vengeance. And he's just mad, takes out mercenary contracts and whatnot.
So he could have been part of the Lord's Alliance, and then during like gladiator type fight or whatever, during a war or whatever between like northern countries, he could have gotten fucked up, and then maybe he joins the Zentarum.
Yeah.
After, because he was a goody two shoes, and then he got fucked up, and now he's ugly, and no one will take him.
Okay, so with all that being said, I'm thinking to myself, like. So we have a Ronin aspect, a mercenary aspect. So he's kind of like a fallen samurai barbarian, basically. Yeah. I love it. So, okay, a very complex character, a very complex backstory. what would you say his allegiance would be, or his like, is he chaotic neutral?
I think chaotic neutral is definitely with this backstory. I think he's really like fallen off, and now he's just his own cause. Like maybe during the fall, like when he fell, like he lost not only his status but also like his lands and his family. So now he just is completely on his own, lives for himself, lives to survive, lives to fight. It's just pure chaotic neutral.
Side note: why is it good neutral and evil neutral a thing? Like, I feel like.
What do you mean?
Well, because we have chaotic good, we have like true neutral, then we have chaotic evil, but we don't have like neutral good, neutral
Yeah,
evil.
We 100% do.
We do.
There's a 9-part chart. There's good, or there's lawful chaotic, or lawful neutral chaotic, and then good neutral bad.
Oh yeah. I don't know. My brain's fried today.
Yeah, because you can just be good. Like you can just be neutral God, where it's like, no, like I like to do the right thing. I don't give a shit about the God tier, and I also don't like murder anyone the moment somebody like yells at an old lady.
We'll see. In that
I thought
case,
it was lawful good and then chaotic good, neutral good, and neutral evil. So wait.
Yeah.
No, you're right. You're right.
I would actually see him more as neutral evil then, because it's one of those things where if he's fallen from grace and he doesn't give a shit about anyone or anything, like a literal like orphanage could be burning, he would turn the other way and go, not my fucking problem. I mean, he's not going to like do anything to make the situation worse, but he's also not going to help the situation either. I would think he'd be neutral evil.
Well, that's getting into the philosophical understanding of like whether you want to risk your life to go run into that building. Does it make you a bad person to not do that? Because like in the neutral aspect of the chaotic neutral, like it's just a not give a fuck. But if you're evil, like he would have like lit the fire. So I mean, this is more of like a philosophical difference of those two things. Because and I don't think he would be like awful. I think he would be, when I say like chaotic neutral, like I think he might go save those kids. Like because maybe like just because he was shamed and runs off and he hates like now the aristocracy or like the people from his lands, or hates like the schemers and the money makers and the grubbers, that doesn't necessarily mean he wants to also like to burn down buildings and shit. Like I would have him just roaming around as just this wandering warrior that like doesn't have a home, doesn't have a place, but maybe since he lost like his family or lost all his things, like he doesn't necessarily want to do evil. He just doesn't have a home.
He's the Mandalorian.
Yeah, he's like the Mandalorian. He's just kind of doing his fucking thing. Like he'll do good if he needs to. He'll do bad if he has to. Like,
actually, he would have been a great casting for Mando.
No, he would have.
Yeah,
A little bit older.
I would have liked him in it. No, that was Nick Nolte. Nick Nolte played the other guy. I mixed them up.
I have spoken.
But I think he's too old now to play the actual Mandalorian. But I would have loved to see him as a character.
Sure, I'm saying I would love to see him as a Mandalorian, maybe like an older, wiser, like let me show you the way kind of Mandalorian. That'd be dope.
No, like, get down. So how would we use him in like the sort of quest that we've kind of been
So
theoretically building
mercenary, like he could either be someone that we go against, like let's say you piss somebody off in your campaign and they get like this guy gets hired to go against you, or it could be, maybe he's hired to be somebody's like, right hand man in whatever kingdom. I think he'd be hired to be somebody's like bodyguard in like a kind of like shitty environment.
I think he would be more opportunist than anything else. So I think on some days he's a great ally to have, and other days, like you just curse the day he was born. And you don't know until the moment of. It's basically like a Targaryen. Flip a coin, see what happens. And I love that uncertainty about a character like that. I think that like it's one of those moments where the moment you see him, your butt puckers just a little bit, going, oh fuck, where's he gonna be in this campaign?
I like that. I think if I were to use him, like if I were running the game, I would, especially if like we sort of run on this backstory, I would have him kind of always be against people in power. At least like if he does have one thing that he adheres to, I would say like he wouldn't like the organization of those things. Like he wouldn't like warlords and all those people. So I'd probably kind of switch where like he's not a bodyguard. I'd say like a noble hires you two to go kill this wandering warrior and says like, oh, he's awful. He's been like killing children and like eating babies. And then you have to go fight him. Then you find out like his backstory. And then you can choose, like, do we take the bounty and kill this guy, even though he's not necessarily a bad guy? Or do we join up with him and go fucking melt down a kingdom that wronged him? That would be like, that puts you in like a quandary. Dude, what do you do?
I'd say burn King's Landing to the ground.
Eat the rich.
Eat the rich.
Basically, his preferred enemy is the aristocracy. I love that. Just +2 to anyone who's rich.
Yeah. Oh my God. Someone was, I saw, where was it? It was either like a t-shirt or a meme or something, but somebody said Blue Shell the Rich. And I was like, done. Sign me up. I'll invest in that.
Blue Shell.
Blue Shell the Rich, man. They're too far ahead. Shoot that magic shell at them. Back of the pack. You've had your fun long enough.
There's someone who made like an entire like think piece about how Mario Kart is essentially the perfect economy because of the blue shell and because of the lightning bolt, where it's like everyone even if you're at the back at the last lap, you still have a chance to get ahead, and that's the perfect way that capitalism should work.
I dig it. I'm all about it. It's not like the freehand, like the laissez-faire, the freehand economy. It's like the master hand economy. It's like the Nintendo version.
I got a master hand for it right here.
Yeah. I dig it. Yeah, so I'm all about it. That'll be such a fun. What if the Lord that shamed him was evil Kanye in this?
Ooh.
And so
or actual Elon Musk.
I gotta stop telling you the ideas that I might use in this campaign. Yeah, because I would happily use him as a catalyst to lead you two into the Sirens Islands.
I'd like to have one of the players be like an orphan or whatever, and then suddenly have this guy be their father and not know, and him not know, because they're it's like not like the Bard thing where like all their bastards walk in the bar, but it'll be like maybe they both survive, or maybe in his dying breath he recognizes whatever character player, and they're like, oh god,
okay,
it's my dad, but his face is so fucked up I can't tell.
It's my dad.
Okay, so and on top of that, we have a Gimli Legolas connection between him and actual Elon Musk. Obviously, he's rich as fuck, but he's also kind of cool, so they're kind of begrudgingly down to hang out with each other.
That's fair. Or like maybe they like owe each other a favor from their past.
Yeah.
And so they're like, yeah, I mean, I kind of owe you a blood debt, but also fuck you, Elon.
It's like, I hate you, you're rich, but you also amuse me. I guess I'll keep you around.
Yeah. No, that's gonna be fun. I like that. I'm all about this wandering warrior.
Side note about actual Elon Musk. Do you guys remember Legend of Korra, that like whole metal bending city that could like fold up into like a metal pyramid? I imagine that Elon Musk has like a steampunk ass contraption to like have like a metal walled pyramid city in DnD, because he's like this crazy artificer. It just popped in my head right then.
That it's being built right now. That is in the headcanon here for the game that we have not made yet. Is going to happen. So it's just the Lotus City that just like unwraps for you when you get close.
Yep.
I have to talk about one thing before we move on. I had a critical fail moment over the holidays. I was playing, and it's so dumb. I have to talk about it really quick. So. I have a friend of mine. We both kind of play the same way in terms of DMing. We're both trap masters. And so the game was, we're in a maze of mirrors. Essentially they're so fragile, they break really easily. And if you break it, the glass essentially turns into little magic missiles and will scratch you for one. Not a big deal. My dumb big ass. I'm trying to be really careful about it. I end up slipping on a dex check. I run into one mirror, and I just kind of domino my way through breaking a shit ton of mirrors. And I ended up with negative 230 damage. And
that's instant death. If you double your damage, you instant die.
What ended up happening was because what he didn't say is not only are the mirrors a thing, but there's also trap mirrors on the floor.
No,
And
no.
I got stuck in a pit that went like 3 stories down and like 10 shards in. So he's like, yeah, you're super dead.
Yeah, you're ribbons, bro. That's not good at all.
Oh God.
Although
You just got turned into little meat pieces.
Although he said on the positive side, your group can now see the exit over over your dead ass corpse.
It happens, man. Sometimes you just nuke yourself and you're just done. It's like, all right, cool. So you want me to go outside and burn this character sheet? Neat.
And,
Let's make a new one.
And the worst part is he is so anal retentive about like, take your sheet, rip it up, get the fuck out. He's that kind of person, get the fuck out. And I'm like, dude, this sucks. He's like, well, if you want to join in the next round, because we have a format that we use called Dungeons and Death Runs. And basically the point, it's a rogue game, like you would an app game, like a rogue game. You die. The point is to literally die. But the if you die last, the more you keep, essentially. So if you die first, you get jack shit. And so it just kind of gathers up. And then the next round, you keep the stuff from the last round and you continue on the next death run. It's actually really cool.
It's like a roguelike tabletop?
Yeah.
That's rad. That's cool. It's like you're playing Hades, like, but on your table. I'm all about it.
Yeah, no, like the
Cool
point. The point is to literally die. It's endless rooms and endless traps, and it's super fun. It's actually something I might probably want to do with us sometime.
Absolutely.
Hashtag first to die here. I'm just calling it.
Oh, I'm excited. I'm already planning on ways for you to die in Katie's game.
Oh God. Oh God.
When me and Katie are working on your backstory, you're fucked. You're dead. It's
yeah.
over already. Yeah, that's fucking awesome. I love hearing stories about people dying in D&D. It's hilarious because you don't have to deal with the actual ramifications.
Yes. I think it was Winston Churchill that said the best war is the one where no one dies or something. I truncated that, but it's basically like about video games for the most part. Anyway, it's a thing. Look it up.
How many video games were there in like the 1940s?
No, I'm saying you can apply it to video games.
Okay, I was like, I think your time periods are mixed up here.
He's a time traveler. Winston Churchill, time traveler. That's why he drinks all the time.
I'd watch that TV show.
Character sheet it.
Yes. Winston Churchill, Time Wizard. That's the next.
You can be the Chronomancer.
Chronomancer.
Winston Churchill, the Chronomancer. There's a lot of. We have to build a whole lot of lore for that to work out. Also, fuck Chronomancers. Anyway,
he's basically.
I fucking hate any Time Wizard in any style of D&D games. They wreck games. I hate Chronomancers.
So what you're saying is he's like a British Rick Sanchez for the most part.
Yeah, he's Brit Sanchez.
Wubba lubba tub tub. Or sorry, wubba lubba tub tub.
Wubba lubba tub tub.
Keep calm and fuck off.
Oh, that's funny.